in the third quarter to kind of start things when Golden State made a little bit of a push, and did you feel like that was a pivotal part of it, or did you think it was more of an overall trend for the game?
The trend I see is that we continue to be a terrible third quarter team to start. That was last year. That was the preseason. Got to rethink some things, and it's a two-way thing with the guys. What do they need at halftime to make sure they're ready to play? They're not ready to play to start the third quarter.
JJ, pregame you mentioned discipline as something that needs to be there, specifically when it came to playing their post splits. Just overall, in a macro sense, how would you assess the team's discipline tonight?
Pretty good, actually. Outside of a few buckets there in the third quarter, pretty good.
JJ, Luka's workload was so heavy. How do you try to get other guys to get more involved and help out with what you guys have going on out there?
Every game is different. I'm not concerned about that.
JJ, you talked about, when it comes defensively, about the level of connection and effort it's going to take from everybody. Where's the connection on the offensive end right now, and how much of sort of this being the early stages would you attribute the turnovers to, and guys just maybe not being in the right places or the places people expect?
Yeah, I think that's more it. Again, trying to throw a lob pass, fit in a lob pass to DA, and it ends up being a turnover. I think that's going to happen to any team, to any two-man partnership, whether you've got continuity. That happens sometimes. I think it's mostly self-inflicted, and I think if you look at this game, like a microcosm of this game was we did enough good things to put ourselves in a position to win for most of the game, and that when we didn't do those things, they were self-inflicted.
You touched on it.
They were self-inflicted. So that's not being organized in early offense. That's having the wrong guy bring it up. That's we knew they were blitzing and stack. That's supposed to be stack 2. The guy stays. Now there's no outlet for the passer. Those are not sprinting back. We make a run. We got 2 guys back. Buddy Hield gets a wide open 3 for some reason on a full court pass. Those are self-inflicted things. So that's not anything Golden State did to us.
The pregame you mentioned kind of how the team has gone through this whole process without LeBron, like camp has been without LeBron. You're going to solve these problems in the immediacy with the issues that are happening with this roster. At some point, you're going to get another huge piece back. Do you allow yourself any brain power thinking about how LeBron fits in with what this group is now, or can you not afford to do that?
It's hard to forget about LeBron. The reality is when you're focused on the group that you have, you got to make that group work. So it's sometimes you can just be like, oh my God, we're going to get LeBron back at some point. Like it's awesome, but you are focused. I'll be honest with you. I did have one moment in that first half when we had a few possessions we couldn't score against the zone. I'm like, it'd be great to have LeBron just to throw it to at the high post.
Just sort of look down there, 40,000 points.
Yeah.
Can you kind of split the self-inflicted wounds that come from just we have better habits than this, we know how to play, versus these are the growing pains of some of the new pieces coming together and understanding the intricacies of the offense and understanding players' tendencies and what guys like, where they're going to be?
Sure. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I think that, to me, that shows up more on defense. When I said pregame, you got to be really disciplined. It's like the times, to Kobe's question, the times you make your own thing up. Steph Curry gets a back cut for a layup. Gary Payton slips and gets a dunk. We don't read a small pick and roll, and I wasn't on the floor. I don't know what the call is, and Jimmy turns the corner, they get a layup. So there's going to be growing pains with that, I think, early in the season, and hopefully it's not long. But it's more organization than it is like knowing guys' tendencies. I think that's where the offense struggles.
JJ, LeBron was so important for you guys, like defensively last year, just calling out plays, sort of quarterbacking things. Who's stepping into that role, or at least I don't know if it's just you and Greg yelling all the time, or is it like who's on the court in that role?
Yeah, no, I think Da and Marcus have done a really nice job. Gabe, I know Luka and AR are being more vocal as well. But I would say right now it's DA Marcus DA Marcus and Gabe.
With the following questions that when LeBlanc's not there, how do you utilize Rui and this team and this play?
So ask it again. I'm sorry.
How do you use Rui Hachimura utilizing it when LeBron's not in the team? How do you use him? What kind of plan do you have for Rui?
Same plan as always. Yeah, we're not going to ask a guy to change their role because someone's out of the lineup. He's got to stick to doing what he does best. Thank you.
Did you guys feel, whether from your end or theirs?
We've just been bad third quarters. Last couple of years for sure, but I think ever since I've been here, we've had a problem with third quarters. So just got to figure out a way to, come out with a little more energy. JJ is the first thing JJ talked about after was just figuring out a way to be better in the third quarter, and that's on us players. That's not on the coaches. They come in here and give us what we need to, give us the answers to the test. My fault, and we just didn't go out and execute. So that's on us, and we have to be better.
Traditionally in a season, players are in and out and teams have to adjust, but you guys enter the season missing such a big piece in LeBron. How focused on the smaller fixes can you guys all have to be while kind of understanding that things are gonna this team is gonna really change again in place at some point?
Yeah, I mean, my fault. I think when the goal is to win, it doesn't really, it rolls and situations change, but at the end of the day, you've got to do what you think's best to help the team win. And I feel like that's what we did tonight. We came up short, but obviously when you're missing a guy like Brian, you're not going to feel that with one person. You have to try to feel that, I need to do something a little better. Luka needs to do something a little better. Rui's got to pitch in a little more. You can't, like I said, you can't do what he does with one person. If I was LeBron James, I probably would have retired by now. But, he's one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. So you had to do it as a collective group.
You guys have had spurts in the preseason and even tonight where you look like a team that you have been trying to come together as, and the kind of the group that you want to look at. What does it take to turn that into longer stretches, and so you're winning 36 out of 48 minutes, whatever, and putting it together?
I think it's time. We haven't had a lot of time together as a complete group. Obviously, we're still not complete, but we're just going to continue to build and get better and learn how to play alongside one another. I mean, I had 5 turnovers tonight, and I don't think a couple of them were just dumb, but a couple of them were just miscommunications on where I needed to throw a pass to DA. It wasn't the wrong read, it was the wrong pass at the right time, basically. So it's just learning those little things, and you learn those on the fly. You think about all the good teams that's in NBA history. All those teams kind of played together as a core for a long time and know how to play alongside one another. You look at them over there, Steph knows, or Draymond knows exactly where Steph wants it, vice versa. So just getting those reps together.
When you look at this game, or when you go back, obviously JJ mentioned the quarters, but are you feeling? Do you think about the turnovers? Is it the slow 3-point shooting, the free throws? What's the thing that gnaws at you most?
All of it.
Those are the 3 big ones.
What'd you say?
turnovers, and threes.
Yeah. If we do better in all those, we'll have a better chance to win. And I led the group tonight in turnovers, so point the finger at me.
You mentioned how when it comes to defense communication, a lot of that's falls on you right now. It's a team thing, but from where you were on the back line, where you feel like the team could kind of learn from this game tonight.
They're just staying together. I feel like we responded pretty well on my communication out there, but obviously some execution and closing possessions on the defensive end. We got a little discombobulated. But, I walked in here saying it was on me on some possessions where, I felt like I should have talked more or, probably even blitz early, just, doing my natural deeds on the defensive end. But I feel like my guards really did a good job on just communicating and trusting me back there while I was trying to call out them coverages.
Yeah, to that third point, how did they get away from you guys?
Yeah, they came out like they normally do. They're a great third quarter team. JJ warned us and told us to be ready, and they came out, shooting the lights out, and that's what got their momentum and kind of put us on our heels a little bit, and they start coming downhill, attacking us to the rim and drawing fouls.
AR was speaking about his frustration in himself with turning the ball over, and sometimes he felt like he was making the right read and just maybe not throwing the right pass. And as you guys all try to come together and get on the same page, how do you support one another through kind of the things that don't look so smooth?
Today I was realizing I'm probably a confusing big, whether I can roll and stay in the pocket, it's probably a little difficult for them sometimes. But I'm so used to, the league having that low man on me, sometimes I can't even finish a roll. And, a tiny bit linger around the free throw area just to be available for him. And, there's times where I could finish my roll and, it's just, we got to play some more and, play against some more great teams like how we did tonight to really see what's the common coverage of these teams, really trying to put us on their personnel, what they got on us.
Are those things, DeAndre, that just will take time as a unit and as a group?
Most definitely, and I'm excited about all of that because at the same time, I feel like our defense and all, I'm seeing guys step up,